Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone. Man. And all that crap. Guys, happy holidays. And I hope everyone is well. I just want to shout out to my family. We lost my cousin this past week, cousin Louis. I love you, brother. Man, it's tough to lose people like that, family members. And if you want to donate to the Danny Thomas Foundation, you're more welcome to. He's, he had some cancer, and then he caught COVID and passed away, unfortunately. Anyway, I just wanted a quick shout out to my family, and love you guys. Man, week 16 is upon us, guys. I can't believe it. I mean, what the hell? What is going on? Think about it. Just a lot of Brock Purdy, San Francisco stuff. I mean, I was looking at the film yesterday, and I did a little short. I'm going to do more shorts as well. I just want to let everyone know that. And, man, I'll tell you something. The reason why this team is so great, the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, if you look at tape, everyone blocks. I mean, everyone. And Ayuk, Jennings, McCaffrey, George Kittle. I mean, the whole gamut of wideouts and running backs, they all block for each other. I mean, they never give up. I remember I looked at Ayuk running. I was thinking this is the first play of the game against Arizona, right? And McCaffrey was sprung, and Ayuk was following him all the way down the field, and I mean, it was amazing. He just didn't give up, and he blocked at the end, and McCaffrey almost scored a touchdown. So, wow. That, my friends, is how teams become great. And if you have great players, those great players buy in. And I think Colin Hurd, he was talking about that, teams that have bought into the quarterback, the system. And definitely, Purdy is just, he's really good, guys. He reminds me of, everyone's talking about Joe Montana. I think he has a better arm than Joe. He has a pretty ball as well. He knows everything. He's just one of those quarterbacks that come out, and he's so intelligent, but he's so good as well. His talent level is extreme, and how he slides around in a pocket, he finds people, and that team is amazing too, because they're all smart. They all know what's going on. They know their worth to this team. Trent Williams, he was coming off the field the other day, and he had a big old ice pack on his knee, but it wasn't like he was walking normal, but it's just, it's football, they go through injuries. They're always hurt. It's like baseball too. You're usually always hurt about something. You always are mending something. And football's, I think, is worse. I think they have more injuries, and because it's physical. And man, those Niners physical guys, wow. They love to hit. Jennings is one of them. Jennings, he gets less targets, but he is always around the really important plays, if you notice. He's always catching the first down on third down. It's crucial. And he blocks very well. And the whole team does. They take pride in that, And man, I tell you, when they have McCaffrey on a sweep, Trent Williams, oh my God, the guy's a house. And man, he leads the way. And then Ayuk, same thing. I mean, it's like if you watch the game, I have my short. Look this short that I made, and you have Ayuk splitting defenders and taking out two guys so McCaffrey can get in the end zone. I mean, you just don't see that. Yeah, and these guys are physical wide receivers and physical running backs and physical tight ends. I mean, very, very physical. That's the reason why last year, every team that played the San Francisco 49ers, every single team that played them last year lost their next game. Check it out. Check the records. Any team that played the San Francisco 49ers last year lost their next game, including the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Well, they played them in the championship game. Philly made it to the Super Bowl, against the Kansas City Chiefs, and who won? Yeah. That even proved, it right there, it just proved it, it's just, these guys are just that good, and it's the big talk of the town, guys, big talk of the town. This week is going to be so special because we have a Thursday night football game, right, with the Saints and the Rams. Then we have a Saturday game. We have the Bengals and the Steelers, right? And then we have the Bills coming into SoFi Stadium playing the Los Angeles Chargers. Ugh. And that's Saturday night, right? And then we have on Sunday, the 24th, Christmas Eve, and all through the house, not a kid was sleeping, not even a mouse. I don't know, guys. Anyway, we have Sunday, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games on Sunday. It's going to be a big game. I mean, come on, 10 games on Sunday. And then, for everyone's enjoyment on Christmas Day, 10 a.m. game, we have the Raiders, who are looking good, and the Chiefs not looking so good. Raiders going into Kansas City, playing them in the morning on Christmas Day. Then we have the Giants going into Philadelphia and playing the 10-4 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have lost 3 straight. And then Monday Night Football, 5:15 p.m. on ESPN or ABC. Guys, we have the game of the week. The game of the week on Monday night. We have the Ravens, 11-3, number 1 in the AFC, number 1 seed, against the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now, the reason why I even pointed this game out is because in the beginning of the season, the Calvin Dean Show predicted the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens would be in the Super Bowl this year. This Super Bowl 58. Yeah, guys. And I also predicted Lamar Jackson would win the MVP. So, boy, it's looking pretty good here. Looking pretty good. And this is going to be a hell of a game. I mean, wow. I can't wait to dive into that game. So let's just dive into Thursday night football, which will be tomorrow night, mind you. All right. Well, let's start it. Ready, guys? And let's go. Week 16, Thursday Night Football. We have the New Orleans Saints going into SoFi playing the Los Angeles Rams. And, man, they're looking so good lately. And the Saints won last week. I predicted that. I predicted the Rams. And, I mean, it's a pretty even game, guys. You look at it. The offense of the Saints is 14th. The offense of the Rams is 8th. The defense for the Saints is 11th, right? And the defense of the Rams is 18th. Right? Rams have been getting better, too. Every week, they keep going down that totem pole. They keep sliding down and keep getting better and better. So, and then we have the passing, 14th for Mr. God, man, I tell you something. The Saints passing is just getting better. It's getting better. I mean, really, it is. And the passing for the Rams is 11th. So Derek Carr passing. I just 14th. That's pretty good for Derek. And then Matthew Stafford at 11, and then the rushing for the Rams is 11th, 19th for the Saints. That's their Achilles heel, I think. They only rushed a certain many times. I think it was like a total of 24 times between Williams and Kamara. And I think that's their Achilles heel. I just, the first half last week, they looked kind of, I think they were winning like 7-6 or something like that. And they came in the second half, and the offense came alive. But, you can't do that against teams like the Rams, you just can't, and I think the Rams have more firepower. I really do. Kerryon Williams, he looks great. Cooper Kupp, Pakua, Higbee, I mean, Tutu Atwell will be back this week as well, and he's out of concussion protocol. It's just, that it's. I think the Saints' defense is a good defense. I really do, and it's 11th, almost top 10, right? And then you also have the defense for the Rams are getting much better. I mean, on paper, it's a pretty even game. I mean, the Rams edged them out on paper. And I think both teams are really playing well. I really do. I think, the Rams are playing a little bit better. That's just my opinion. I look at it's a home game, Thursday. These guys are kind of lucky in a way because it's Christmas, right? And it's 21st of December that they play on, and they play and they go home, and guess what, guys? It's they can spend the time with their family, and and it's going to be great. I mean, good for them. And same with the Saturday games, right? Saturday game is the 23rd, so those guys playing on the 23rd. After they play, they're go home, and they'll be home for Christmas, that's for sure. So I'm definitely going to pick my first pick. The first pick is Thursday Night Football, and we are giving it up to the Los Angeles Rams. All right. Okay, we have Saturday game. We have two of them. And we have the Bengals going into the Steelers, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And we have the Cincinnati Bengals looking great. 8-6 Bengals. Browning has brought that team back. They really have. Their offense is better. Sorry, Joe. It's just offense stats are better, right? They are. Defense still not there for the Bengals. I mean, their defense is ranked 30th in the NFL out of 32 teams. Not that good. Steelers are 20th. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. Everyone, I always go over this. Everyone, they all talk about the Steelers' defense, how great it is. Well, it's 20th, guys. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. I mean, it's 20th in the National Football League. I mean, that's not that great. When I see it, when you're talking great team, you better be in the top 5. If you talk about that on the Calvin Dean Show, I'm sorry. I call people out. They should be called out. You better, if you say a team's great in something, they better be top 5. I won't listen to your logic at all. I just won't. So then the offense on the Bengals is 21st, right? And the offense of the Steelers just sucks. They're 27th. That's the whole thing. That the Steelers' offense, they have the backup quarterback, which they don't have Pickett's. I don't know, man. It's just there's something about the Steelers' offense. I'm not bought in. I mean, how can you be bought in? 27th, and defense is 20th, and then we get to the passing, and man, Browning and the Bengals, they're down to 13th. That's pretty good, or up to 13th, whatever you want to call it. But they're 13th. They're better than middle of the road, which is great. Now, Jamar Chase, he's been on the sidelines, and I have him on my fantasy football teams, and it looks like he might be doubtful for this game. So we'll see. And then we have the pass. Just check before the game, guys. I would check on Saturday morning to see if he is a go or not, even on Friday, because it's important. All the teams right now, all the fantasy football lovers, you're either you've already started, which is ESPN, right? Because they do 4 games with ESPN. ESPN they started last week, and then this week you're playing to get into the championship. And then when you get into the championship, you have 2 weeks to win that championship. I kind of like it that way, because it's kind of like if you have one bad game, then you can come back the next game and catch up. Better not be down too much, right? But so the passing on the Steelers is 28th. Mitchell Trubisky, it's just, I don't know, it just hasn't really looked too well. The rushing is the best on the Steelers. They're down to 16th, which is good. I mean, their rushing's much better. Warren and Najee Harris. But the rushing on the Bengals is 31st. So the thing of it is with the Bengals, 30th defense, 31st rushing. Just doesn't cut it. Last time these guys played was in November. It was just a few weeks ago, to be honest. It was November 26th, right? Less than a month ago. And the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, they beat them 16-10. So it was a low-scoring game, and it was in Cincinnati. This is going to be in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has their numbers, but they had Kenny Pickett's then, and the Cincinnati Bengals, they just, I just don't see it. That's low scoring. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it'll be a better game. But with Pittsburgh, that's what they do. Their defense, they do have a good defense. I didn't say that they had a terrible defense, guys. I just said that I don't think they have a great defense. Meaning great to me is top 5. Okay, so sorry. They have a good defense. 20th, right? They get to the quarterback, with Mr. Watt, and they do have some great bookends, on their team, but the overall team is 20th. So this is a really, really tough game to call. It's at home for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh offense looks terrible. I mean, and the thing of it is with Pittsburgh, mind you, they're going to have to win this game, you know what I mean? Because they're 7-7, right? And they're really going to have to win this game. And the Cincinnati Bengals are 8-6. So Cincinnati's sitting there going, well, we're good. It looks like we might make the playoffs. We didn't think we were going to make the playoffs when Joe went down, but Browning came in. Browning's doing very well. You know, he's throwing the ball really well. I mean, guys, I'm serious, guys. He looks really good. You know, really, really good. You know, you got Browning, and he's definitely doing well. Definitely doing well, you know. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the top 5 quarterbacks, top 5, we got Tua for number 1. He's got 3,921 yards, right? His, he's definitely doing well. Definitely doing well. His completion percentage is 71%. I mean, come on. And number 2 is Brock Purdy. Yeah, 7th round, last pick. Yeah, 3,795 yards, and he's at 69.8% completion percentage. You know, so but Brock has 7 interceptions, and Tua has 10. Tua has 25 touchdowns. Ready? Brock Purdy 29 touchdowns. The ratings, the QBR ratings, Brock Purdy number 119. Tua's 106. And, I mean, if you look at everything, the only reason why they're putting Tua on top is because of yards. And he's not really winning that many yards, like 100 and some odd yards more. That's about it, you know. And Tua without the cheetah, yeah, he doesn't do too well, does he? Third place goes to Jared Goff, 3,727 yards, right? 26 touchdowns, 1 more than Tua, and 10 interceptions, the same as Tua. And 67%, passer rating 98.2. Pretty good. I mean, he looks great. I mean, you just got to look at all the stats. 4th place goes to Patrick Mahomes, 3,703 yards, right? 25 touchdowns, the same as Tua, but he has 3 more interceptions. And his completion percentage is a little bit better than Jared Goff. He's at 67.4, and Jared is at 67.1. Then you have your passer rating. Mahomes is at 93.2. So, and then now those are the top 4. The 5th rated quarterback is Dak Prescott. And he's at 3,639 yards, 28 touchdowns, 1 less than Brock Purdy, and 7 interceptions, same as Brock Purdy. His passer rating is 104. Right? That beats Jared and Mahomes. And, I'm telling you something, Dak Prescott is having a great year. And then it gets down to all the other quarterbacks. That goes to Sam Howell at 35.68, Josh Allen 35.41, and but the thing is, you look at all these other quarterbacks, and Sam Howell 15 interceptions, Josh Allen 14 interceptions, 26 touchdowns for Josh Allen. Passer rating is pretty high for Josh. It's 93.2, and 66%. which is actually better than C.J. Stroud, and almost as better, I mean, right there with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes at 67 and Josh Allen at 66. So really, he's right there. And then, then Trevor Lawrence, and then Jalen Hurts is way down there. 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 65% passing, and then 89.9 passing rating. So, I mean, you have to look at all this, guys, before you even start talking about football. Really, I mean, it's very, very important. So getting back to the Bengals game, it's a tough game. It's really hard to beat a team at home. The Steelers beat the Bengals at home. So I'm going to give it up to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to go into Pittsburgh and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And, wow. Excuse me. All that for one game. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills, Saturday Night Football, going into SoFi Stadium, playing the helpless, limping Chargers. Watch out. If you have a wounded dog, you don't corner them in the corner of the room, because they might bite back. The Chargers do have some great talent. Just because their coaching staff was terrible doesn't mean that they don't have great talent. They don't have Justin Herbert. I'm sorry, Chargers fans, Los Angeles fans. Buffalo Bills, they will win, and they will be 9-6 at the end of this game. And next is Sunday the 24th, Christmas Day Eve. We have the Indianapolis Colts going into Atlanta, playing the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I just don't see Atlanta winning. They were ugly last week. I don't see them beating the Colts. I think the Colts, Gardner Minshew is such a better quarterback than Desmond Ridder. He just is. And then they have the running game of the Colts, that is pretty good. And if you look at the stats, you have the running game is for the Colts is 13th, and running game for the Atlanta Falcons is 9th. But then you have the passing on the Colts is 18th, and the passing for the Falcons is 23rd. Falcons have better defense. The offense of the Colts at 13th and 19th for the Falcons. I'm telling you, the Falcons, it looks like a tie. It really does. It does. But it's not going to be a tie. Indianapolis over to Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Give it up to the Indianapolis Colts. So, that's for sure. And then we have the Green Bay Packers, 6-8, limping. Going into the Panthers, who won last week. Congratulations to the Carolina Panthers for winning your second game of the year. Come on. I was pouring. That game was horrid to watch. It was just nothing but pouring rain all day long, and they're playing again at home, and the weather there is just terrible. But the Packers love terrible weather. Give this one up to the Green Bay Packers over the Carolina Panthers. Now, the next game we have the Cleveland Browns going into Houston, playing the Houston Texans. Cleveland beat them last year. They played them in December. They beat them 27-14. But, Texas, the Texans didn't have C.J. Stroud. They have all these others units. You're going against the number one defense in the league. A great defense, number one. The offense for the Browns is 17th. The offense for the Texans is 10th. The defense for the Texans is 16th. So they're middle of the road defense. But they are getting better. They are getting better. Lately, because of their defense, they brought their rankings down to 16 or up, whatever you want to call it. And then we have the 21st passing offense for the Browns and the 5th rated passing offense of the Texans. So, hello. That was C.J. Stroud. He's not there, Now, mind you, I would, check it out and see, where Stroud is with his injury and if and when he might be playing. So, I would do that. And then you have the rushing for the Browns, which is their thing, is 10th. They're top 10. And the rushing for the Houston Texans is the 22nd. So, it's in Houston. And you just can't keep those Browns away. That defense is way too good. And their offense is stagnant to watch. Flacco, sometimes he looks great, and then sometimes he doesn't look so good. But it's Joe Flacco. He's Super Bowl winning quarterback, Joe Flacco. So, just don't see the Houston Texans. They're 8-6. The Browns 9-5. The Browns, both teams need this game, and they really do. And I'm going to give this game up to the Cleveland Browns. The next game, we have the Detroit Lions going into Minnesota, playing the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, Mullins, I guess he did well, and it was an exciting game. The Minnesota game was really exciting against the Bucs. That was an exciting game, guys. That was one of probably the best game of the week. Addison played out of his mind. They have Jefferson. The Lions played out of their mind. They came back. I was doubting them last week. I was doubting the Lions. But, man, they just proved me wrong. I love that when they prove me wrong. I really do. And I just don't think that the Lions are, ready to win a championship, but they're pretty damn close, right, guys? Pretty damn close. They're third-ranked offense in the league, third. They're 11th for the Vikings, so pretty good on that one. You have the 15th-ranked defense of the Lions against the 13th-ranked defense of the Vikings. That Viking defense is Blitzville. That's what I call it. 4th in passing for the Lions, 7th in passing for the Vikings, and 2nd for rushing for the Lions. That rushing game, and the rushing game for the Vikings is almost non-existent. But Chandler did well last week, and 23rd for the Vikings. You look at the stats, I can't doubt Detroit any longer. I just can't doubt them. I really can't. They played so well this last week. I was so impressed. And I thought they'd be upset, but no, I was wrong. Definitely the Lions in this one. The Lions over the Vikings. The next game, we have the Washington Commanders ugly team going into another ugly team, the 5-9 Jets. The Commanders have better firepower when it comes to Sam Howell, the quarterback. They're 12th and 16th offense, but their defense for the Commanders is last. They're 32nd. The Jets is 7th. defense, but the Jets' offense is 32nd. So we have this 32nd offense going against the 32nd defense. That only spells one thing: ugly. Ugly, yawn, sleeper game. Come on, guys, really? Yeah, I know. So, but it's just 12th passing. Sam Howell, he's keeping him in the game. But you had the 30th passing for the Jets and 30th rushing for the Jets. So, ugly game. Stat-wise, the Commanders, but I can't believe in the Jets any further. I told my friend I won't be duped any longer with the Jets. So I'm going to give this one up to the Washington Commanders over the New York Jets in New York. And we have the next game. We have the Seattle Seahawks off their upset win, and over the Philadelphia Eagles. And I told everyone, be careful. They're in Seattle. Drew Lock, I was so happy for him. Really happy. He was very humble. And he didn't know if he was going in last second, right before the game. Oh, Drew, you're playing. Wow. Going against the Titans 5-9, the Titans. I think the Seahawks are just a better team. I just see them as a better team. Beating the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you look at the stats, 20th offense for the Seattle Seahawks, 26th offense for the Tennessee Titans, 28th defense for the Seahawks, 19th defense for the Titans. Passing is the Seahawks is 15th. Passing for the Titans is 24th. It used to be like 31st. So, Levitz has brought that team down in the rankings, which is great. Up in the rankings, whatever you want to call it. Went from, I think it's 31st to 24th. So, pretty good. Up in the rankings. So, and then you have 18th for the Titans. They better be 18th. They should be 5th with Derrick Henry rushing. And the rushing for the Seattle Seahawks is 28th. But now Walker is back. Walker looks great. Looked really good. That Seattle's offense much better than the Titans. I just see the Seattle Seahawks winning this game over the Titans. Give it up to the Seattle Seahawks. The next game is a tough one, guys. This next game is a really tough one to call. There's a few tough ones because the teams really are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde teams. You have the Jacksonville Jags. I knew they would lose against Baltimore, and they're on a slide right now. Trevor Lawrence is there. I was going to say without Trevor Lawrence, but in all reality, the guy's working on one leg. He really is. You can BS me all you want, but he's working on one leg. So, the number 12th offense against the number 23rd defense. Baker Mayfield looking all that and then some, that's for sure. 27th defense for the Jags, 26th defense for the Bucks. So pretty good. And that one, passing is 9th for the Jags. Passing for the Bucks is 19th. And then you go down to rushing, and it's 26th against 29. 26th for the Jacksonville Jags and 29th for the Bucks. They're playing in Florida, which is good for both teams. The Bucks are playing at home. But the Jags, it's not like they're going into they're going into not their home facility, but they're playing in their home state. So they're very used to the weather. That's what I was trying to get at. Their surroundings, Floridians, I guess that's what you call it. They're 8-6 against the 7-7 Bucks. Bucks have been really doing well lately. I I'm giving this one up to the Jacksonville Jags over the Tampa Bay Bucks, but be careful on this one, guys. Be careful. The Bucks could turn around and win this game. They really could, especially at home, especially the way they're playing. But I think the Jacksonville Jags are a better team. I think Jacksonville beats the Tampa Bay Bucks. The next game we have two ugly games. Two ugly teams. We have the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry. The Arizona Cardinals playing the Chicago Bears in Chicago, and the weather is going to be terrible. And the Chicago Bears rushing is 5th. The rushing for the Arizona Cardinals is 7th. The Cardinals are playing in weather. They're not playing at home like they played against the 49ers in warm, yada, yada. They're going to play in some shitty weather. And I just don't see... I mean, it's going to be a rushing game. That, they're pretty even teams. I mean, 24th offense for the Arizona Cardinals, 22nd offense for the Bears. 25th defense for the Cardinals, 14th for the Bears. So the Bears have a better defense. Their rushing defense, they're good. They stop the rush, the Bears do. So, the passing 27th for the Bears, 29th for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's there. He's doing better. He's doing really good. He's a magician. He is. He's really good. I'm going to give this one up to the home team, Chicago over the Arizona Cardinals in Chicago. And the next game, let's just give it up to the Chicago Bears. There we go. Sorry, guys. The next game is going to be an interesting game. This is another matchup that is going to be an interesting game. We have the Cowboys, 10-4, going into the Dolphins, 10-4. Wow. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Well, the Dolphins are favored by 1.5 points, so this is going to be my upset special. I'm going to give this one up to the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Miami Dolphins in Miami. And this is going to be my upset special. And give it up to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the next game is an ugly game. It's Sunday Night Football. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Christmas Eve. Santa comes down the chim. All the kids are just nestled in their beds, dreaming of their toys they're going to have the next morning. Those days, man. I remember my mom, she would go on top of the roof of the garage and walk on the roof and with her sleigh bells and jingle them. And my brother and I would sit there going, "Oh my God, it's Santa. No, don't look out there." And then we would leave cookies down at the fireplace, and the cookies would be eaten. Oh, Santa ate the cookies. Wow. I love you, Mom. Man. I hope you're raising hell into heaven right now. I'm sure you are. Oh, man. This is an interesting game. Like I said to some people, I said, the Denver Broncos are pretenders. They should have played a lot better than they did the last game that they played. It was, just embarrassing. So, I mean, you have stat-wise, and the last time these guys played, Denver Broncos played them 3 years ago. And the Denver Broncos played them in New England, and they beat them 18-12. So, a defensive game. Defense for the Broncos is 30th. I think they're better than that, but how can you're going to remain 30th once you got beat by 50 points. So was it 70-20 or something like that? Insane. And last week they looked terrible. They couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop the Lions. They just couldn't stop them. It was impossible. They couldn't do it. So Lions rolled. The Broncos are pretenders. They're not. They aren't. They are pretenders. I see. This is going to be an interesting game. The interesting game is it's in Denver, right? In Denver. Christmas Eve, right? Well, the temperature is going to be in the 20s. High altitude. I mean, you can barely catch your breath in Denver anyway, sorry, Siri's talking to me. And I just don't see. This is such an ugly game. You got to flip the coin. Who's better quarterback? But then, I think it'll be a very, very low scoring game. Broncos at home. I hate to keep calling I hate to say the Broncos are going to win this game because they screwed me last week. I think they are still pretenders. I just don't see New England. Their offense is just horrendous. But I'm telling you something. You do see spurts on New England's side, and you are playing the Denver Broncos defense, which got lit up last week, and they're 30th, and the defense for the New England Patriots is 8th, right? 8th. Wow. So I just don't see. I'm sorry. You know what? I told everyone I cannot. I'm not a Denver Bronco believer. I think they are pretenders. I really do. It's going to be cold. It's going to be yuck. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a defensive game. You're going to fall asleep after 30 minutes watching these two teams play. But I'm going to give this one up to the New England Patriots to beat the Denver Broncos in Denver. All right, guys, we have Monday, Christmas Day. Christmas Day. And it's going to be fun. I mean, we get to watch football all day long. All day long. All day long. And it's we have the Raiders right away going into Kansas City. Jacobs is going to be back. Yeah. And the defense for the Kansas City Chiefs are 4th, right? And the defense for the Raiders is 17th. And the Raiders' offense is 29th. The Chiefs' offense is 7th. I mean, the Chiefs' offense, defense, and passing is top 10. I mean, passing is 3rd. The rushing is 20th. Pacheco's, I think he's still out. Check before the game. And but the Raiders rushing is 32nd. It's last. Passing is 22nd. They have O'Connell. They're going to be in Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs are pissed that they're 9-5 now, and I just don't see the Raiders beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. I'm giving this one up to the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day and Taylor Swift. You're going to love it. I mean, you're going to watch football until you're 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you get to go home with your man, Travis Kelce, and just have fun all day long for Christmas Day. Give it up to the Kansas City Chiefs. The next game is quite interesting. Quite interesting. It's a 1:30 game. And this is the game where, I mean, in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, the Kansas City Chiefs are playing, right? Which is 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, which is 1 o'clock on the East Coast. So, I mean, it's like everyone's going to be watching that game. And then the next game I don't think many people are going to be watching this game. I'm sorry, Eagles fans. I'm sorry. The Eagle fans will be watching. Apologize. The New York Giants fans will be watching, of course. But the rest of the nation, I mean, the Giants, I'm sorry. They're the Giants, guys. The Giants. Their 31st offense, 32nd passing. The Giants. Eagles 19th offense, 16th passing. The defense 24th for the Giants, 22nd for the Eagles. That's their Achilles heel for the Eagles. The rushing for the Eagles is 8th. The rushing for the Giants is 15th. A lot of the 15th rushing for the Giants was Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, but they have Danny DeVito now. Danny's been doing well. He's been scrambling out of the pocket. He has been doing some great runs. Nothing like Daniel Jones, but he has been doing well. I give that up to him. He has been doing well. The Eagles' defense for rushing, they got just exposed this last week, right? Exposed. I knew they'd lose, and the Bills. And are so good. And it's really hard to beat the Bills. And the Eagles are just, I don't think they're in free fall mode. I really don't. Hey, the Niners lost 3 in a row, right? So I think this is the game where they make it right, meaning the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if the Giants will keep them close. I just don't. I think that the Eagles are one of those teams that will bounce back. Last time these two met was last year, right? That was the last game of the season. And it was January 8th, 2023, and the Eagles beat the Giants 22-16. I just don't see the Giants winning this game. This is going to be my lock of the week. My lock of the week, guys, goes to the Philadelphia Eagles over the New York Football Giants on Christmas Day. It's the middle game at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fox Sports. Give it up to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Wow. The next game is just, wow. I think the next game is the best game of the week. The Cowboys and the Dolphins are going to be a great game on Sunday. That's going to be a great game. What other great games? I think the Rams on Thursday night, tomorrow night, will be a great game. The Rams against the Saints. The Saints. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. Bengals and Steelers will be a good game to watch. The Buffalo Bills and the Chargers, not so good on the Los Angeles end to watch. The Bills will be loving that game. I think the Indianapolis Colts Falcons game will be a good game to watch. It's definitely for, Falcons are fighting for their playoff lives. And the Green Bay Packers, not so good of a game. The Houston Texans and Cleveland. Another good game would be to watch would be the Detroit Lions and the Vikings. That's going to be a good game to watch. It's going to be a good game to watch. Vikings really need to win. They're not going to. And the Jags-Bucks game, that's going to be a good game to watch too, because the Jags really need to win and the Bucks really need to win. And they're at home in Tampa Bay. So there's a few good games out there, really. And like I said, the Cowboys and Dolphins are going to be, I think they're the second best, game of the week would be that game. And I already gave up my upset. The Cowboys who are going to upset the Dolphins on Sunday afternoon. So we got Monday Night Football. Wow. Man, this is going to be an exciting game to watch. very exciting. You'll look at both of these teams. Like I said in the beginning of the show, I predicted that both of these teams will be in the Super Bowl this year. So I think you're looking at a precursor Super Bowl lineup. You have the number 5 offense of the Ravens going against the number 2 offense of the Niners, right? You got the number 2 defense in the league. Baltimore Ravens, number 2, guys, against the number 9 defense of the Niners, right? Oof. You have the number 20th passing, which would be the Baltimore Ravens, which because they're number 20th, they're number 1 in rushing, all right? But you have the number 2 passing of the Niners, Brock Purdy, number 2. We went over this, guys. Number 2 by, it could be number 1, really. Just the touchdowns, yada, yada. So, and then number 1 rushing for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they have a great rushing game. Unfortunately, Mitchell tore his ACL, the spark plug on that team. That's going to hurt them because he was becoming a big factor in that rushing attack for the Baltimore Ravens. So they got two people down. Likely has sort of taken over for Mark Andrews. Sort of, I say. He's an excellent talent. Made a great catch going up for the ball. Lamar Jackson, taking 8 seconds in the pocket, that's one thing for sure. He's so good at that. But I don't think he's going to be good at that with the Niners because the Niners rush is just Boza and Young and on and on. Warner and Ward and on blitzes and the passing for the Niners is just impeccable. I think the defense, the Achilles heel for the Baltimore Ravens defense is the deep passes. Humphreys, he's not that good. I think both teams are very physical. You're going to see a very, very physical game. The last time that these two met was, 4 years ago, guys. December 1st. Baltimore Ravens playing in Baltimore beat the San Francisco 49ers in Baltimore, mind you, 20-17. Now, this game's in San Francisco. So, it's Christmas Eve. So, unfortunately, these teams, the Baltimore Ravens, they're not going to be home for Christmas. They're going to be away. And they're going to be traveling to the Niners. And they're going to be playing a juggernaut of a team. And then also the 49ers are going to be playing a juggernaut team as well. I think both teams are great. Like I said, I think both teams will be in the Super Bowl. I predicted that in the beginning of the year, and I'm standing by it. I'm pretty close. And I also predicted that Lamar Jackson would be winning the MVP. Now, if he wins this game, Lamar wins this game, he should be considered as an MVP because look at the records. Records are the 2 best records in football. 11-3 for Baltimore and 11-3 for the 49ers. Man, and it's been raining here in Los Angeles. It's been pouring all night long. And let's just check the weather out. Well, in San Francisco on Monday night, it looks like the weather is not going to be rainy like it is now. It's going to be cloudy. And, it's going to be probably in the early 50s. Perfect football weather. So both teams, they're going to be loving it. It's an outside venue. It has been raining in California. I'm sure they have the field covered. And so it won't take in all this rain that we've been having. So I think, the field will be great. It's going to be perfect football weather. Christmas Eve. It's just a perfect time of year. And, this is such a hard game to call. Hard game to call. I mean, both teams are deserving of victory in this one. It's at home. 49ers. That's the whole thing. It's at home 49ers. So the only reason why I'm going to give this one up to the San Francisco 49ers is because it's at home. So the last game of this week, week 16, will be the San Francisco 49ers. Well, it's been fun, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Calvin Dean Show. I wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever your gig is. Happy Festivus for George and George's family and Kramer and Jerry. And if you're Seinfeld fans, happy Festivus. So let's just go quickly over who I think is going to win. I have my lock of the week is the Eagles over the Giants. I have the Niners beating the Ravens on Monday Night Football. But don't even think that that will change. That is such a close game. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.